All right, what's good, everybody? We'll go ahead and get it started. Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 25, the importance of asking the right question. So we'll go ahead and get it started off. So we'll just talk about the importance. We'll talk about the topic, right? The importance of asking the right question, right? So first, it's not only important to ask the right questions, but it's also important, obviously, to get the answers as well, right? But here's one thing that I came to the conclusion of, and if you have me on Snapchat, you will see I posted something on it as well. Is a lot of people, they really lack introspection in general, right? I don't see many people asking the right questions to themselves and also to other people as well. And I feel like that's one of the fundamental flaws within society right now, right? You have people that are just life is happening to them instead of the other way around, I guess. Life is happening to them, and they're really just floating in this life, I guess. They're just floating and taking it as it is, and not really having any control on what the hell happens to them. So that is kind of the reason why I want to talk about this today, because like I said, I just see it so often that people just don't ask the right questions. They just don't ask questions at all. Like, for example, and I'll use this example to start it off, right? Let's just say you want to be successful, or you want to have a fancy car, or you want to have a really nice house, right? A lot of people, instead of saying, how did they get that car? What routes did they go? What decisions did they have to make? What work did they have to put in order to get that car? They ask a question like, or they don't even ask a question. They just say, "Oh wow, that's nice. I wish I had that." And obviously, you have to be asking, if you want to be successful in this life, you have to be asking the right questions. What do successful people do in this situation? How would a successful person think in this situation, and how would they go about solving it? Maybe they would get some people involved. Maybe whatever the answer is, ask the right questions. And yeah, it just comes down to that, right? So really, why is it important to ask questions? Obviously, to get the desired answer or the desired result. It's as simple as that, right? And like I said, in most areas, it's important to ask questions. And the main part of asking the right questions is within your own self dialogue. You need to have more self discovery, and you need to have that introspection, because if you don't, you'll never evaluate what really brings you fulfillment. You'll really not, like I said, if you're working a job right now and it's not doing it, then there's questions you have to ask yourself. If you're in a situation in life right now that you don't want to be in, start asking yourself some questions. Start answering your own questions that you're asking yourself, and maybe you'll be in a bit better position than you were, right? So there's little things like that. Appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment if you are in here. I would very much appreciate that. And also, when it comes to asking questions, this is something that I've also seen in my own personal life, right? You want to develop your interpersonal skills and your social competence, and you do that by asking the right questions. If you want to get to know somebody, ask the right questions. If you want to, if you, like I said, I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with everything, right? Like, if you ask people the right questions, you're going to get better answers, and the answers will dictate where your life even goes. And you have people like I said, the successful people, right? Are they really that much better than you? I don't think so. I just think they are a little bit more curious in life. I think they're willing to put in the hard work, and first of all, ask the question. Like I said, ask the people, and that also goes with where you're getting your answers from as well. Who are you asking your questions to? That is also definitely important when it comes to the quality of answer you get. So that is key right there. Like I said, also the interpersonal skills, asking people the right questions. Um, that goes a long way. That you can get an answer from somebody that's already done it. You can get an answer from somebody, and it expedites your career or your life 5 years in advance, just by asking that one question, just by having a little bit more clarity in that. Then you have the butterfly effect that goes out throughout the entire and onto the entire events that go on in your life, just because you had one question answered. Maybe you had a complete revelation. Maybe you had an entire paradigm shifting moment when you asked one question. And I feel like that is what it was for me personally, right? And the one question I keep referring back to is, what life do you want to live? And I always go back to that question. A lot of my introspective videos go hand in hand with that question all the time. What question do you want to live? If you can answer this question very thoroughly, very clearly, man, the ripple effect that will be because of that. Like I said, it's only as big as you're gonna make it, right? But like I said, people the most get out of life, they ask the most brilliant questions. It's as simple as that. A lot of people are not creative. Like I said, a lot of people don't care. And like I said, if you don't care about life, that's fine. Um, should you care about life? In my opinion, of course you should care about life. Of course you should, because you only get one of these. People take it for granted, and they don't. Like I said, they just don't ask the questions. They don't live the life that they want to live. Simple as that. And that's honestly a sad thing because in a life filled with so many possibilities, you're really not going to do what's in your best interest because you're lazy or because you're distracted, which a lot of people in the society right now are distracted. A lot of people are consumed, which is honestly a tragedy in itself. And with also asking the right questions, it gets you to think. And that's something that a lot of people are avoiding. They go to the day to day life in so much routine that they don't even ask. Like I said, they don't even ask the questions. They don't even think. They have no time to think. The only thing they're thinking about is the next thing they're going to do, which is, let's just say you get up, you get ready for work, you go to work, you come home, you play video games, whatever it is, right? Whatever your routine is, right? You're not thinking 15 steps ahead. You're thinking the next. You're thinking moment to moment. And like I said, I know some people live moment to moment, and that's cool and it works for some people. But like I said, also you got to evaluate what the hell you want out of this life. For me personally, I'm not living moment to moment. I'm not. I'm very much focused on the delayed gratification and focus on my future self and focus on the life that I'm trying to build. Because obviously, the future is never granted as well. The future is never guaranteed, right? But if it was guaranteed, which it possibly could, how would I like it to look? That's a good question right there. That's a good question right there. Give me one second. Like I said, the discovery of the answer is almost just as important as the question that you ask. But step one is asking the right question, right? Well, step one out, in my opinion, is learning what questions to ask. Second step is asking the questions. Third step is obviously getting the answers. Simple as that. But yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much what I have to say. And like I said, when you have answers, you have clarity, and when you have questions, you have direction. And that is something I actually came up with myself. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I've never heard that. But asking the questions, you have direction. Getting the answers, you have some clarity. And everyone in this life should be focused on clarity. Because a lot of people lack clarity. How far is that going to get you? Like I said, that'll just get you to the next day. That's it. And like I said, hey, if you're content with that, you're content with that. That's fine. Obviously, this is Life of a Champ podcast. We're not content with that over here. I'll tell you that for sure. And like I said, I appreciate you for stopping by. If you're in here right now, please leave a comment. Also, like I said, I'm gonna have the clips up very, very soon. I'll be posting clips on here, Instagram, and I'll be doing TikTok as well. That'll be very, very soon. I'm just trying to get some more things figured out, but hopefully I'll get it done by the end of this month. Um, and I do want to produce a lot of videos. One statistic that I learned um, when learning about like TikTok and stuff like that is they have 1 billion viewers, and 90% are recurring viewers that view it daily or every other day. I think that's interesting because TikTok is literally one of the biggest platforms right now. And with that being said, of course, if I'm not on it, then I'm not maximizing the amount of marketing that I could possibly do. So eventually, like I said, we're 25 episodes deep. So I know I have some viral moments in here. So I got to be able to post it. I'm going to be, if you know anybody that can do shorts and stuff like that, let me know. I want to get into contact with those type of people. And I'm also going to be looking for people. I'm actually going to be paying somebody to do it as well because it'll make it a little bit easier. Plus, I want to do it myself. Plus, I might get some other help. So that'll be nice once I start getting that up and going. But yeah. And then also, another thing that I want to mention on Saturdays, I'm going to be adding another day for the podcast. It'll be It won't exactly be a podcast. It would just be like a live stream where we just chat and chill, almost like this, but less structure. We'll just be listening to music and just chatting it up. That'll be really fun in my opinion because I enjoy music very much so, and I feel like it'll give a different type of vibe to this similar setting. So I'm definitely looking forward into that. And yeah, give me one second. Also, another thing that I'm starting to realize is this. Yes, sir. We got to go viral on TikTok. Yeah, we gotta have some viral moments. Another thing I'm thinking about is this right here. Well, I think everybody has this, realistically speaking. I just want to talk about it because I think it's interesting, right? We have a lot of fake supporters. Everybody, and here's the thing: I have a lot more fake supporters than I thought, honestly. And with this podcast, it shows a perfect example, right? Appreciate you for stopping by, but I want to talk about this for a little bit, right? It's everybody has fake people that support them. Let's keep it 1,000, right? But at the end of the day, like I said, I had a lot of people that buy the shirts, and I had people that buy the shirts that I've never watched the podcast. I think it's goofy. I appreciate the support, 100% appreciate the support, right? But but if I'm be honest with you, I would much rather you watch the podcast and not buy a shirt for me than to buy a shirt for me and not watch the podcast. That's what I will say. Yeah, Saturday podcast coming soon. Like I said, those are going to be very very interesting in my opinion. Um, when new music drops, that'll be very interesting to listen to the new music. And usually music comes out Friday, so that'll definitely be really cool. Cool to be able to listen the next day, give my opinion on it and stuff like that. Especially when like my favorite artists drop. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good time. Like Big Sean drops another album. Oh my god, yeah, for sure. I'll be doing a podcast. For sure. Probably that same night, honestly. But yeah, that is something that'll be interesting. I won't save any of those podcasts. So if you're in it, you're in it, and if you're not in it, you'll never see it. It's as simple as that. Also, like I said, appreciate you for stopping by. I seen I got another view in here. Make sure you leave a comment. I appreciate it. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying, like I said, you got a lot of fake supporters, right? You got people that, when I started this thing, they supported me, and now I'm 25 episodes deep, and I haven't even seen them in like 10 episodes. Like I said, I appreciate the support, but just if you're gonna support somebody, make sure you're not fake supporting them. And all the people in my life that I really rock with, if y'all do anything like this, just know you will have my support. You'll have my support. You'll have my support financially. I'll buy whatever merch you would like, and you will also have my attention if you are really producing the quality content that I'm producing myself. You will definitely have my attention, and you will definitely have my support. But of course, there's not that many people that actually can do that. But the ones that do, like I said, hey, you always got support from me because I just move genuine like that, and I'll always move genuine like that. You can ask Anthony for last shit like 11, 12 years now, right? I always stay solid. Like I said, if you rock with me truly, I will rock with you truly to the day we die. But if you're gonna show me that fake love, then we don't have no room for you over here. No room for you. Simple as that. But like I said, I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm gonna reiterate all the things that I had mentioned, but yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of a refresher on a few things. Like I said, got Saturday podcast coming soon. And also got the clips and reels and shorts and TikToks coming very, very soon as well. That'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, also got some more sound effects coming into the podcast very, very soon. By the next podcast, I want to have like at least 8 to 10 new sound effects, which should be interesting. And also, one thing I'm considering doing is with this unique opportunity that I have with the piece of equipment that I have, I can pretty much make a clip out of pretty much anything. So I might take some old videos, and I want to have at least probably 8 of these because I want to have one section filled where I can have sound effects that I personally said or something that my friend said or something like that. I thought that'd be absolutely hilarious and great for content because it'd be great for entertainment because you have something goofy I said or something goofy Anthony said or something goofy one of the people said in the podcast. I can get homie since like solid since day one. Exactly my point. But yeah, I'll be adding that as well. Yeah, but just to reiterate, I know Anthony already heard it, but the importance of asking the right questions. Obviously, you ask questions to get the desired result or answer, and then when it comes to asking questions, you want to ask questions in all areas of life, and I would say more in specific, you want to ask questions that are going to give you a clearer view on the life that you want to live and the person you want to be. Right. I feel like those right there, being introspective, and asking the questions that are going to take you further on on that self discovery journey. Those are going to give you the most out of life. Also, when you ask certain questions, you can develop your interpersonal skills and your social competence, which also is definitely really really good. And depending on what you're trying to do, but it definitely can play a great aspect in trying to get to know somebody. And also, if you know anything about this world and skills, networking also is a big thing and can transform your life just by knowing the right person or being around a group of people. But in order to get that around a great group of people, you have to ask the right questions. You have to be personable. You have to come on. You have to, like I said, you have to have the social competence. And if you have that, like I said, it'll take you a long way. If you don't, then it won't. On all that goes back down to is staying solid. Like my boy said, been solid since day one. Exactly. If you have that, life's a lot easier. I'll tell you that. If you can move genuine, which like I said, not many people can do. I've met a very few amount of people that can actually do this, and I am also one of these people that move genuine 1,000% of the time. I'm never gonna lie to you because why would I lie to you? It's not moving genuine. And for the most part, I try to stay as genuine as I can with myself because at the end of the day, I don't want any like second guessing. I don't want any second guessing myself. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to lie because, quite frankly, if I lie, that means I'm gonna have to lie again. If somebody asks a question, and not, like I said, that's just not me. I move genuine out here. If you want my genuine opinion on something, I'll give you that genuine opinion. But like I said, the truth hurts sometimes. But like I said, you ask for it, you ask for it. Simple as that. But going back to what I was saying, um, the most okay, the people that get most out of life ask the most brilliant questions. That's as simple as that. Um, so yeah, just learn what questions to ask. What are you curious about? What do you want to know about somebody? What person do you want to get to know? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself. And once you become clear, then you can be more specific about the questions you want to ask. And then yeah. And like I said, you are also with the question, you're also going to get the answers that you're looking for. And answers are just as important, but like I said, the first thing you got to do, one of the first steps is asking the right questions. So it's as simple as that. And when you have answers, like I said, you have clarity. And when you have questions, you have direction. And in this life, you should be a good first question would be what makes you feel most fulfilled. Exactly, Anthony. I love that question. I love that question. What brings you fulfillment? What brings you fulfillment in this life? What are your interests? Things like that. I feel like I'm honest because I'm not nice enough. Yeah, exactly. Hey, exactly. Hey, my man. You're hitting that shit right on the head. I'll tell you that. But going back to the fulfillment thing, right? Anthony carrying the chat as always. Um, when it comes to fulfillment, right? If you struggle to, like I said, I've just done so much self discovery that if you are struggling to know yourself, if you're struggling to answer questions about yourself, I'm concerned for you. What it like I've asked people this question many times when I try to get to know them because I know what questions to ask when to get to know somebody, and they don't even know themselves. And I've also had this on many occasions where I've got to know somebody, right? Whether this is a woman, whether whether this is a dude, right? I've asked them questions, and just being around me because I know myself that well, I ask them the right questions, and they learn more about themselves. I've had maybe about 5 or 6 people in my life where they're like, just being around you, I learn more about myself. It's as simple as that. Ask the right questions. And like I said, if I'm asking you what are your interests, and you really have to think, you have an issue. You have an issue. There's an issue right there. Like I said, you should be alarmed right then and there. But that's just my opinion, right? Like I said, what brings you fulfillment? What do you like to do? And usually, like I said, what is fulfillment is going to ultimately push you towards your better self, and also going to be somewhat of your interests, and also going to be somewhat of your hobbies, something you like doing, right? For me, what brings me fulfillment is helping people out. And the way I want to help people is making videos, and the way I want to help them make the videos is by having a podcast, and the way I want to have a podcast is by having this discussion right now. It all goes back to this, I guess. But ask yourself the right questions. You get the most out of life. Simple as that. You should be looking for clarity in this life. In a life filled with fog, you should be looking for the path that looks the most clear. It's simple as that. And like I said, if I ask you a question about yourself and you have to really think because you have never thought about that question before, alarm should be going off. Alarm should be going off for sure. Appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment if you're in here right now. But yeah, like I said, I love the way I wrote this up. I love the way I wrote this up. The answers give you clarity and the questions give you direction. As simple as that. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment if you are in here watching this. I see I have another viewer in here that doesn't want to comment, but it's okay. Also, if you're watching this through the link that I sent, make sure you log into YouTube or make sure you just go to the YouTube app and look up the Life of a Champ podcast. Also, hit subscribe as well as turn on the post notifications. I appreciate it. If people can't even figure out what their interests are, then they really need to do some self exploring. Exactly my point. And you don't understand. I've talked to people that have given this no thought. No thought. And I personally like to look for people with depth. And especially with some of the people I've been dating, man, y'all have no depth. No depth. It's so sad. It's so sad. I wish you did, quite frankly. And like I said, going back to something, I'm not gonna get into that, but I posted something earlier today, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate GDP. I'll get into it, right? I'll get into it, right? Don't be more than your looks. Your looks are not your personality at the end of the day. Be more than your looks. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to comprehend nowadays. You have people that lack depth piss me off just having conversations with them. It's like it's like I'm testing them or it's like they're being interviewed. When I'm genuinely trying to have a good conversation, but you don't know yourself enough to answer the questions. The best part is the more answers you get, the more questions you have. Exactly. Exactly. And then when you get more clarity, you get honestly, when you get more clarity, you get more like I said, you just get more questions just based off of that. Right. Appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment. Seeing GDP in here. Yeah, so we're talking about asking the right questions. Like I said, questions lead to smash the like button. Exactly. We usually don't have a problem with that. We usually don't have a problem with that over here. But yeah, make sure you smash the like button as well. And also turn on the post notifications as well, because at least you'll know exactly when I'm going live, and 30 minutes before I'm going live, you'll know that I'm going to live that day. So if you want to go ahead and do that, that would definitely help you out. That definitely help me out. That's for sure. Yeah, but just going over the things because I have some new viewers in here. Like I said, if you're in here, make sure you leave a comment. But there's very much importance in asking the right questions, because you are looking for a desired result or a specific answer. Okay. What areas in life are important to ask questions? I would say more specifically, you need to ask the questions where you can get to know yourself a little bit better. Um, like I say, you should be looking for more introspective questions and self-discovery questions, and eventually, you need to learn your interpersonal skills and your social competence by asking and learning about other people as well. And I feel like with this new society that's coming, like I said, we're more consumed, we're more distracted, and we're less able to have the conversations that actually have meaning because we can just why have a conversation with somebody and learn something new about somebody when we could just go on our phone and have endless content. Why would we not do that, right? People don't even know the importance of having a conversation nowadays, which I think is ridiculous in my opinion, but it's just the life we're living in. But ask yourself the right questions, man. It's important. It's important if you want to get to know yourself. If you don't care, then here's the thing: you don't care. If you here's the thing: if you're not even curious enough to ask yourself questions to get to know yourself a little bit better, get the hell off the podcast. I don't even want you on here, honestly. I'd get the hell up out of here. Sit down with yourself, ask yourself the questions. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Like I said, like I said before, I'll repeat it once more. When you have answers, you have clarity. When you have questions, you have direction. And like I said, even when it comes down to, let's just say somebody has something in life that you don't have, start asking the right questions. Don't resent that person for having that. Be curious. Be willing to learn. Because those people that are curious and willing to learn might be able to achieve that same thing that person physically has, maybe mentally, right? Just little things like that. There's little things like that. So, like I said, if you're in here right now, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment regarding something I'm talking about. But yeah, Anthony over here carrying the chat as usual. Not surprised. Like I said, man, solid. Man's been solid since day one, and not a day goes by where he's not solid. So it's as simple as that. And also, if you're not in here or you didn't check out my stories, we'll be having a Saturday podcast. I won't be doing it every Saturday. I might do it for a little bit, but I'm not going to be doing every Saturday. But we're just going to be listening to music, chatting it up, and hopefully getting some quality conversation in regarding whatever. I feel like that is specifically is something that's not going to be saved. So I'm willing to have questions or willing to have conversation regarding literally anything. So that'll be definitely pretty interesting. Hopefully, it attracts a new group of people that maybe will watch this podcast. But yeah, that is something I'm definitely interested in. And also, I will be asking probably around 10 people to come on the podcast. So that's something that also um, needs to be said as well. And also, we're gonna have clips by the end of this month. I'll figure out how to edit clips and stuff like that. And also, if you want to go ahead and subscribe to my new YouTube channel, which is going to be the main project, I will be posting by the end of this month on there. I'll be having a few videos up. Like I said, make sure you let me know. Let me know specifically. Go ahead and send me a text or leave a comment saying that you want the channel, because I will be promoting that a lot in the upcoming days when I have my videos put out. But yeah, I have 3 videos. I have the full to the master transformation. I have my introduction video, which will be a fantastic video, and it'll be one of the most proud pieces of work that I put out. So if you really fuck with me like that, like I said, you definitely got to stay tuned in for that, because, like I said, that is something that will get to know you. You will get to know something about me that you might not have known. And there's very few people that actually know that entire story. So maybe you learn something new about me. That could be interesting right there. And then I also have another one. I forgot the other video. I filmed it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The problem is people see those conversations, interactions as uncomfortable and tend to try to avoid them, which hinders growth. Exactly. And this is something that I talked about in a previous podcast. When you are incapable of having the conversations because it might lead to an uncomfortable point in time, you're limiting growth in society, you're limiting growth in opinions, you're limiting growth in everything, honestly. Because and that also goes with the suppression of people in society as well. I don't think it's okay to suppress people. Of course, some people have a message that's better than others, but at the end of the day, I think everyone, just like freedom of speech, everyone should have a right to say what they want to say and have opinions that they want to have. Now, for better or for worse, you only can do so much. You only can do so much. But yeah, I would say my generation is the last generation that likes to have great quality conversations. Honestly, I don't see, like I said, I have younger siblings and I have younger nephews that maybe they're just young, but at the end of the day, they don't they don't ask the right questions. They really don't. They are consumed. Like I mentioned earlier, they're consumed. They're distracted. Whatever you would like to call it. But people that can have the most conversations, the best conversations, that ask the right questions, that gets to know people. Like I said, one of the keys to success is network, anyways. Which obviously, with the network, you have to get to know somebody, and you also have to have those interpersonal skills. And like I said, you have to have some social competence in order to have those conversations. But like I said, people right now in society are lacking that, and now you get to see the results of that. Tragedy, but it is what it is. Like I said, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment. GDP, where you at? Anthony's holding it down. Anthony's holding it down with some quality comments. So I need y'all to get like him. I need y'all to get like him.
Nah, I'm up now.
That's one of my favorite sound effects right there. Give me a sec. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, like I said, also if you want me to add some sound effects that I don't have on here, make sure you leave a comment or even text me that you want this specific sound effect to be added, because I'll definitely be willing to add it. Also, the idea that I had for new sound effects, I might be adding some. I might be adding some sound effects that I've either said in the podcast or Anthony said in his podcast, or maybe some videos that I had throughout the years. I might be adding some sound effects based off of something that we said. So, if there's a funny moment that you remember from one of the podcasts that you want me to add into the sound effects, let me know, because I will definitely do that. I have a few that are recorded on my soundboard that I might do, just because those are absolutely hilarious. I filmed a well, not even filmed. I had recorded on my soundboard a podcast that I did with Anthony and Rudy right after the podcast, we filmed basically damn near another podcast about an hour's worth of content. Um, but yeah, that though we have some funny moments in there that I'm willing to probably put in this soundboard. Um, I have 64 available sounds, or not 64, realistically like what's it like maybe like 40 something now. So if you do want to add something to that, go ahead and let me know. Good quality conversation gives you the best the mental stimulation, and it's on a whole another level than the basic content that people lean towards consuming. And it's really sad to see. Exactly, most people are attracted to quality, or not quality. I'm goofy. They're attracted to. They're just entertainment. They're attracted to entertainment, and I feel like depending on the type of person and depending on the type of quality of person you are, right, will dictate what type of entertainment that you consume, right? Like for me, for an example, right, the type of content that I like to consume that's entertaining to me is the one that usually pushes me forward, for the most part. And there is definitely there will always be utility in having conversation and learning something about yourself through conversation. That's for sure. And like I said, this podcast is definitely one of those things that I would like it to be. So I hope it's both entertaining and both are entertaining as well as like I said, it'll maybe teach you something about yourself. That post podcast was fire. Exactly. Oh my god, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Yeah, we got into topics like religion and stuff like that. I'm just gonna give you one of Anthony's quotes because I love this quote. If I need something to believe in, I'll believe in myself. If I need to have something to have faith in, I'll have faith in myself. Fantastic, fantastic. I love that. I love that podcast. It's something that you'll never see. You'll never see it, but because technically there's nothing to see, but you'll never hear it either. Unless you want to be on the podcast, and then I'll show you the audio. But until then, no. I think I showed like two or three people that audio before, and they found it pretty interesting. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to KJ, who's not in here right now. At least he's not commenting. He's usually in here, but I showed him when he was here when he was picking up his shirt. And also, if you do want a shirt as well, I'll be ordering more very very soon. I just had a conversation earlier today regarding the new theme that I want to do for the shirts and stuff like that. So if you either like the shirt, like I said, I'm rocking one right now. If you like the shirts, or like I said, you want one of the new shirts, let me know, and I will be ordering the shirts very very soon. I just have to get um, the new logos and stuff set up. So after that, it will be good. I'm looking forward to those shirts though. Theme is going to be Miami Night. So similar to like this podcast, I guess you can kind of say like I have the pink and the blue, almost to the starting screen like right here. It's gonna be similar to that color, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, appreciate you for stopping by. If you were in here, make sure you leave a comment regarding something that I said, and we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more, and then I'll end it off. This podcast is not going to be as long, but like I said, I hope you get some utility out of this. And if you don't, then you don't. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, the importance of asking the right question. Why is it important to ask the right questions? Like I said, when you ask a question, you're looking for an answer or you're looking for a desired result. Um, the better the question, the better the answer. That's as simple as that. And then, in what areas in life is it important to ask questions? Like I said, first you got to ask yourself most of the questions. If you want to get most out of this life, you got to be clear with yourself. And once you're clear with yourself, that's when you can start making progress towards other endeavors. Um, where, like I said, you can eventually get to people. You can finally upgrade to get to people. I love that quote too. I came up with it when I asked myself the question: is religion necessary when you have a growth mentality? Exactly. Some people would suggest that the growth mentality comes from another being. Who knows? Who the hell knows at the end of the day? But I love that. And here's the thing: it makes perfect sense to me. Like I said, if you need something to have faith in yourself. If you need something to believe in yourself. And a lot of things, we're not going to get into religion on this podcast, but at the end of the day, religion is based in having faith in something, and usually it's yourself. And it also tells you to believe in something as well, which pretty much in turn almost means believe in yourself to some extent. So it's as simple as that. But just going back to what I was saying, when you finally get the upgrade to ask people the right questions, like I said, you can expand your network, which is one of the most things, one of the best things when it comes to successful people. They have a large network of people. They have a valuable contact list, which, like I said, can give you crazy amount of benefits. So just asking the right questions might be able to get you to have the right conversation, and the right conversation with that one person might lead you to having a friend group that pushes you towards your better self. You never know. You never know. But like I said, you gotta first ask the questions. Um, and like I said, the most brilliant people who get the most out of life ask the most brilliant questions. Like I said, the more complex the question, the more complex the answer, and the better and more progress you'll be that will be made. It's as simple as that. Like I said, the answer to the question is almost as important as asking the question. And at the end of the day, when you have answers, you have clarity, which everyone should be looking for clarity in this life to an extent because life is filled with uncertainty. And of course, you want to have as much certainty and clarity as you can in this life, and that goes with asking yourself the questions. And then when you have questions, do you have direction? And when you have the direction to go, it leads to more questions, and when you have more questions, you have more clarity. So it's kind of a continuous cycle. But yeah, I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to really I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say on the podcast. Like I said, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you're in here right now, make sure you leave a comment. I'm not going to do this for as long. I'll probably be ending it off in about a few minutes from here. But like I said, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment and also make sure you hit the like button as well. All right, so yeah, like I mentioned, new shirts on the way, new sounds on the way, clips are going to be on the way. Also, new people on the podcast are also going to be on the way as well. So I have a lot of things I'm cooking up right now. Also, another thing that's going to be on the way is I'm actually going to have another YouTube channel, which is my main project. I'm going to be posting on there by the end of this month, hopefully a few videos. So that is also on the way. Got a bunch of things on the way. Also got hopefully I'm actually considering doing a new logo for this channel as well because I think the old logo is honestly is nothing spectacular, right? But I don't know if I want to have my face in it or not. And Anthony, I also want your opinion because I'm actually going to send you something after this podcast. I'm considering doing it because I think it'll look good, but it looks kind of cheesy. It looks kind of cheesy, but it's not. If done correctly, I think it can look and have a lot of potential. So I'm gonna redo the way this podcast looks a little bit, and then I'm also going to, like I said, have that new channel, which I'm getting a logo made for that as well and stuff like that. So that should be come very very soon. And of course, this is Life of Champ podcast, so we talk about things like that. We talk about the progress because there's progress to be made, and of course, I'm not just doing nothing out here. We're making moves happen. But at first, in order to get any of those moves to be made, right, I'd ask myself the questions. It's as simple as that, right? Comes back down to it. At the end of the day, all the moves that want to be made are first going to be from the questions that you have answered. But in order to get the answers from the questions, you have to ask questions. And in order to ask the questions, you have to learn what questions to ask. It's a continuous cycle, fellas. It's a continuous cycle, and it applies to many, many things in life. It applies to everything, damn near. But yeah. Also, with this being said, right? I'm gonna give you guys something to take away. I'm gonna end this in about 10 minutes, but I want you guys to take something away from this, right? Some questions that I would personally ask myself. Um, or I would the questions that I would have you ask yourself that you have if you have never asked this question, you need to ask this question. What is bringing you fulfillment in this life? Ask that question for yourself. Really analyze at the end of the day, if you do that, if you do this thing in your day, you feel more relieved the next day. Or at the end of the day, you could sit down and say, "Wow, that was a day worth living." What gives you that sense of fulfillment? You did say a lot of times, but the message does get across the right way. It's not so complicated cycle of growth and improvement. Exactly, exactly, Anthony. You know exactly better than anybody. Of course, I constantly repeat things, but at the end of the day, it's because I want it to hit home. I want the entire point to get across. And if it gets across, you're going to have progress being made. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so first question, what brings you fulfillment? Like I said, at the end of the day, when you're laying in your bed, what is going to say, damn, that day was a day worth living? And I would love to live that day again. What brings you that sense of fulfillment? Another question is, where do you want to be by the end of this year? That's another question you need to ask yourself. And this question that like I said, I've done the time, I've done the thinking to do this, right? Where do I want to be at the end of this year? When this year is over, or like I said, write down your goals as well, right? When this year's over, right? What can I do before the year's over that when the year is over, I can say, damn, that was one hell of a year. I made a lot of progress. I did this, this, and this, and this. What does that look like to you? You have to ask a question. Another question I would ask is, where do you want to be in the next 5 years? If everything went the way that you wanted it to go, if you accomplish all the things you wanted to accomplish within the next 5 years, what would that look like? There's no such thing as a dumb question. You're right. You're right. Because a dumb question would imply that there's no answer. I guess a dumb question would consider. I guess an implied answer. I guess, or a what is the word I'm looking for? An answer you can come up by yourself. That's a dumb question. Um, Another thing is, like I said, where you want to be in the next 5 years. That's something that should also be on your mind. Write down your goals for that, and also, like I had mentioned on previous podcast, when it's all said and done, when you're laid down in your casket, right? What person do you want to be? What person do you want to be? What person do you want people to remember you for? What things do you want to have accomplished in your life? Write it all down. Because, like I said, this life is not guaranteed, and you only get one of these lives. So make the most of it. Do some do some very very critical thinking. Ask the questions, and hopefully you get the answers that you're looking for. And hopefully you live the life that you want to live. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to ask the right questions, you might just get there. You might just get there. Another question for introspection, I would say, is what are your interests? What are the things you're interested in? And yeah, you're right. It doesn't even. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I agree. Um, but yeah, what are your interests as well? And I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. Oh, what am I interested in? What do I do? Come on, now. Like, how do you not know? Yeah, but what are you interested in? And another thing is this, right? And if I ask this question to you and you don't know what it is, you have some thinking to do. What are some goals? And I've asked people this question before, and they're just like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't know." Terrible. What goals are you close to achieving? If you don't know right now what goals you're close to achieving, you got some homework to do, big fella. Ask the right questions. It all goes back to that. It all goes back to that. That's a question you need to ask yourself. What goals am I close to achieving? Maybe you are going to make a certain amount of money. Maybe you're about to make the most money you ever made this year. Maybe you're making progress within the gym. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But ask the right question. Ask the right question. Also, if you're in here right now, leave an introspective question that I maybe missing out on that you think really needs to be asked for somebody to get the most out of life as well. So yeah, I've given you some game for this last few minutes. Like so, I ended up in about 5 minutes. I'll try to think of some more introspective questions in the meantime. But but yeah, I honestly I've hit the nail on the head a few times now with all the shit that all the questions that I potentially given you guys. So hopefully you guys can take some value from this. Hopefully you do actually some research and hopefully you do some thinking about this because if you don't, then what the hell are you doing watching the podcast? It's as simple as that. Be clear with what you want in this life. Like I said, if you're living your life distracted, if you're living your life consumed, you're not living the life that you're meant to live. It's as simple as that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how old you are. Maybe you still have 50 years left on this earth. I don't care how old you are. Maybe who knows? Who knows with technology and everything? Maybe you still have 50 years live on this earth, right? And if you do, what the hell do you want to do in the next 50 years? Because that's a lot of fucking time. So ask yourself the questions. It doesn't matter how old you are watching this. I don't care if you're in your 60s, in your 70s, in your 80s. You still have maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years left, like I said. So that's a lot of time. And with that time, you can potentially live out the rest of your days exactly how you want to live it out. But first, you have to know how the fuck you want to live it. As simple as that. But yeah, I'm about to end it off here in a second. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good vibes and no vibes out here. Come on now, fellas. I'm gonna leave you guys off with one more piece of advice. And just give me 1 second because I gotta think about it. I'm trying to think. Trying to give you guys some good game. I'm trying to give you guys some good game. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to think of something. All right, one more piece of it. I won't say a piece of advice. It's just something that I'm gonna leave you guys off on. Right? When is the last time you did something nice for somebody? Ask yourself that question. When is the last time you did something genuinely nice for somebody? All right, you got the answer right. So here's the thing: before the next podcast, which the next podcast is going to be tomorrow, you got the end of tonight and the beginning of tomorrow to think about this. I want you to do something nice for somebody, right? Something that you might not typically would do. Maybe it's to show them your appreciation for them. Do something nice for that person. That's what I want to leave you guys off on. I'm gonna end it off here in about 3 minutes. So, like I said, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like I'd mentioned, if you're rewatching this, make sure you leave a comment regarding something that I had mentioned. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you let me know you enjoyed it. If you hated this podcast, also let me know you hated it. It's just yeah. I hope you at least leave some type of input. If you like some questions that I asked, make sure you leave a comment on that as well. And I'm about to end it off here in a second. But like I said, just to reiterate real quick, just going down everything one more time. The importance of asking the right questions. First of all, why is it important to ask questions? You want to get the intended and desired result or answer, right? Specifically, what areas is it important to ask questions on? I would say more specifically to learn about yourself. You can never learn enough about yourself. No one knows everything about themselves. So always continuously ask questions to get to know yourself. Another thing is this: you need to develop your interpersonal skills and your social competence. You do that by asking the right questions. You do that by putting yourself in a group of people that are going to push you to your better self. And like I said, you first have to ask the right questions to get to know somebody to even be put in that situation. But ask yourself the right questions, and in turn, you could eventually ask people the right questions to get to better know them. Another thing is this, right? I need you guys to hear this out. The most brilliant people in this entire world had asked themselves the hard questions and have had asked the world the hard questions, and they got the most brilliant answers out of it. And one more thing I'm gonna leave you guys off on is this right here. When you have answers, you have clarity, and when you have questions, you have direction. And when you ask more questions, you get more answers, and when you get more answers, you have more questions. It's as simple as that, fellas. But I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Yes, sir. D's back in the building. Like I said, made it just in time for the ending. Make sure you leave a like on the video and rewatch if you do want to rewatch it. But other than that, appreciate all you guys for stopping by, and I hope. What the hell? We got to get Nightbot. Hey, Nightbot is tweaking, son. Hey, we got to get him out of here, man. We got to get him out of here. I don't know what's going on with that. What the hell? What the hell? I got to get him out of here. I got to get him out of here. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And like I said, the next podcast is going to be on Saturday. I don't know when exactly I'm going to do it. It'll probably be later at night on Saturday. But like I said, all we're going to be doing is just chilling, chatting, listening to music. So if any of that interests you, or maybe you want to request a song, make sure you let me know, and we'll go ahead and take care of that from there. But other than that, this was episode number 25 of the Life of a Champ podcast. I had a great time with y'all, and I hope you guys have a good